Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
And welcome to the BOF podcast, episode 229. This is gonna be a fun one. Me and I am Peter R. Verra, of course, as I've seemed to have taken over the duties lately of hosting the mic of the old pod here, and I have with me my normal combatant. Let's say an original roundtabler. If you've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you know he's a roundtabler. That is a term used many volumes ago. But the great Justin Kowalski has joined me at the crack of dawn, all the way over in the horrible state of California, for the show.
Oh, that was the best
Were you
intro
muted?
ever.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm here. I was just laughing. Trying, when someone's doing the intro, you're trying to like bury the lead, like who's the guest, we've been talking for like 10 minutes and then you're like, oh,
well, I know you're here. I've known you.
I had no idea what you were going to say.
Since Wednesday.
Well, the intros are the best. Like every time you do one for Eric on Straight Outta Gotham, I'm just like, there needs to be a compilation show or something, which
he should release a mixtape of nothing but the the intros, his feats,
all of his feats. Anyways,
the feats, and he could there's like Straight Outta Gotham. If you're not listening, there's like 100. We're on our way to 150. We're at like 143, 144.
Get on that.
He could divide it up in like series
Webb
of 20 and have several volumes of praise. So there could be a whole like Eric Holzman collection. But we're not here to talk about Holzman. There's a whole other show for that, and you can tune into that. That's another fantastic show, Straight Outta Gotham. Two fantastic hosts over there, so tune into there. But this is the original Batman on Film podcast, and we are here to talk some Batman news we've heard over the weekend. Actually, this is the weekend, and the topic that will be Superman Legacy and the DCU. So we'll just get right into it, and we're one of our favorite moments from the old era, Justin, Joe Manganiello and his Deathstroke. You remember those days?
Oh man, yes. I actually remember
the tease
on the tease, and it was no one knew who Deathstroke was. There was a rumor that it was Joe, right? And I remember getting a screen cap of the video that Affleck put out. Like that was, dude, if we go back in time and we didn't know anything that we knew now, it was a cool moment where you're like, what the heck? Ben Affleck just drops this thing on Twitter. It's his video of like that, obviously it looked like the ship that he was on, the Batman ship from Justice League, right?
The Flying Fox.
Yeah, the Flying Fox. It looked like it was that. And then there was this kind of cool, like he did that turn to the left, and I freeze framed it. I zoomed in on the eye and I did like a
I think you told me a Batman lens in there or something.
No, I did a comparison of Joe's Manganiello's eye, and I was like, dude, that's him, because it was the rumor, but it wasn't confirmed.
What a weirdo! What a whack job!
Hey man, but I was like, right. I was right, bro.
Okay, well, as long as you were right. Well, recently during an interview, Manganiello had some words on Deathstroke, and he said. James is my buddy, and James and I had a conversation, and because Jim Lee over at DC wanted me to create a graphic novel series based on the screenplay I wrote for Deathstroke's origin film that they were dismantling when they were dismantling the DCEU. That went the wayside. Jim read it and wanted it to be a graphic novel series, but no one could assure me that if it garnered attention of directors and producers that I could be attached. So I had to let it go. James was like, let it go. So I think we
Yeah.
can put this to rest if we haven't already for, specifically a certain group of people.
Yeah.
It seems, and as you know, we get into further topics, we'll discuss this even more. It seems that James Gunn has a very specific direction he's going, his
Yeah.
direction, and this is as much as of a clean slate as you want to say, without any holdovers from Suicide Squad, but
Yeah.
as there are, but we'll see what that happens. But this just, you kind of knew this was just the thing, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like, I feel bad that he had to learn it this way, I guess, but
Yeah.
I feel like he should have
Well,
known considering the business he's in.
yeah, it is kind of I'll say this. It's a bummer how it all turned out, but he was one of those guys that was like passionate about it. And like I'm like, if you want anybody on your team, it's a guy who's passionate about the project, the character, right? Not just some guy who's there to get a paycheck. Like
I agree
he was
100%.
yeah, he was there. Like I think, man, you have a guy like that and he'll show up wherever you need him. Sometimes they're more willing to like, oh, I'll do this. Not
I
the,
mean, he shaved and bleached his hair into a
yeah,
mohawk.
dude, he did twice. Yeah.
So,
So it's kind of a bummer. I remember right after Justice League came out, he was rocking a Legion of Doom t-shirt in the same font.
yeah, I mean, it was rumored. I mean, between that and Black Manta, right? Because we knew Manta was coming in Aquaman a year later.
Yeah.
And
So
Lex obviously is BVS. You had the buildings of the Legion, but it
mhm.
never, and they teased it. They did tease it.
Yeah, he's like, I'd like a league of my own. So anyways,
But
bummer. But you know what?
another
If he
DCEU missed opportunity, I'd say.
yeah, but if he says like, hey, me and James Gunn are friends, maybe he can, show up not as Deathstroke, maybe a different character, or maybe he is Deathstroke later on in a different like iteration. Who knows? Who knows? But I feel like James Gunn, if you're his friend, you'll probably have a role in these films if you're gonna
Have
make
they
the
worked
whole.
together before? I don't know.
I don't know, but he just said, "Hey, we're friends." So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what that
I wonder if
means.
that's just an industry term, meaning, hey, my door's always open for you, no
Yeah.
problem. No, like I get it. Like like I I mean, there's people I know on the internet that I call my friends. I don't know they necessarily are. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I feel like that's
you
more of
can't
an,
trust Garrett Grav, dude. He's got
yeah. I mean, the
he's got the
farther
friendly demeanor, but I know how Minnesota is. I call it Minnesota. You know what I'm saying?
hey, you said it, not me. But I know the truth about the Minnesota Nice. I know that
Hmm.
much. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there's a reason they like the Vikings. All right.
The Vikings, yeah. Sorry.
I was just
I
kidding.
love how Mr. Wholesome Garrett Grab loves a team that's known for, just pillaging and killing. Not the team, but the logo. It's funny. It's a joke. Relax. Calm down, everybody. We're having fun.
Have some broccoli.
Into more current DC news,
Yeah.
Joker 2's budget, according to Variety, in an article they wrote, has hit the mark of 200 million,
Oh my goodness.
which is huge considering the last one was like I
60. I think it was 60
60
million, right?
60 between like 60 and 80. What did they do
I think
for a
I think
movie
Lady
that
I
doesn't
think Lady
involve
Gaga is very
CGI?
expensive. She's
Is
very
that like
expensive.
is now that I'm just saying, like, between Phoenix and Gaga, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
A lot of money, man. A lot of
when I
money.
read this, I was thinking, oh, maybe it has to do with like, since it's a musical, I imagine there's different set pieces and
Do
maybe
you
it
think
goes
there's
into
like a live
sets.
orchestra on set so they can hear it, or do you think they play it from like a boombox?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I would imagine it would have to do with some of the set stuff. I mean, 200 million is a lot of money still. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's old school DC like spectacle stuff that we're basically telling them all to scale back from. Like
Yeah.
for a while they were pumping in millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in these
Yeah.
movies.
I don't get it. Like for me, I'm like, you keep your budget small again. Like the Joker was made $1 billion. Like that was
Yeah.
a huge success. Like why why mess with the formula and go, let's give them more money? I feel like when you throw more money at it, it doesn't necessarily make the movie
I'm
better
just
all the time,
I'm like I'm wondering just what happens. Like, is there any like crazy action piece? Because if you think of the
Mhm.
first movie, like just the way that movie is constructed and the type of movie it is, like it's all practical, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's really out of the ordinary. And, there's a couple fires,
Yeah.
but, I don't know. I guess De Niro was cheap back then. Like,
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. It's a definitely a choice. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
200
looking
million.
forward
I
to it
think it
though.
sets. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward. As much as like I don't want to revisit Joker. It's just kind of a it's kind of a beatdown. Like I like it, but it's like
Yes.
it's
Oh
not a.
yeah.
I
I can't.
like the movie, but I'm still like it's
I
this weird
probably haven't
about
rewatched it in
Batman.
like a year. To
I've
be
only
honest,
seen it
it's been
twice. I've
yeah.
only seen it twice, but I'm interested in watching this. You know, it went from a movie I was like, why are they making this to like, wow, I liked it. It was still weird because it's not, where's Batman? He's a little
Yeah.
kid, whatever. Um, but yeah, I think it's gonna go into sets and and some other
Yeah. I'd be
stuff.
very interested to see what they do. Todd
Maybe
Phillips,
music
like,
costs money. Maybe there's like some crazy like when I think of like what are
mhm.
the musical movies that looked like there was a pretty penny on them, like
Sweeney Todd,
Chicago
maybe.
and stuff. Well, yeah, maybe Sweeney Todd. I'm just thinking of the ones that are very like visually like
Didn't Eddie Murphy do one
crafted.
with like Oprah at one point? Didn't they do a musical type movie?
Yeah, Shrek, wasn't that Shrek?
No, no, no. I thought this was live action. Wasn't Beyonce in it? Oh man, it was like a.
Oh, Dreamgirls, was that it? Was that it?
I'm not sure. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
sure, but I thought he did
Um,
one. I don't know, but
yeah,
yeah, these aren't really like my type of movies. Like
yeah.
honestly, outside of like Sweeney Todd, I can't name. I guess Mary Poppins would be the other musical movie like I've seen a few times. Like
Oh well.
that's probably my youth.
Yeah.
To be honest
Dude,
with you.
Sweeney Todd, man, I it was fine for what it was. I just remember this dude sitting behind us, man. He must have had halitosis. It smelled terrible. I was like,
Oh geez.
is this what rotten meat smells like?
Oh
Sweeney Todd?
God.
Because
Oh wow. Ooh.
I
Oh
felt like
no.
that's what was going on. It was like 40x. You're getting the smells of the
Wow.
streets here.
Oh
That's
gee. Oh
what's
wow. You really could smell Gotham there.
yeah, it was awful. It was awful. All right. Yeah, I think it's all going into sets and
Yeah.
spectacle.
I mean,
Lady
I'm trying to
Gaga,
just
dude.
think
Her
about it.
rider,
Like,
bro.
yeah, like when
Her
I think
live
of like
swan jackets and stuff, her bird stuff.
it's like when I'm thinking of those big budget $200 million movies, like I don't know, I'm thinking like Bay, Snyder, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I just comparing it to the first one, I'm just kind of like that's what's the cool thing about this movie to me is like it's so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by all the choices. I'm fascinated that they decided to make a sequel to Joker. I'm fascinated that Lady Gaga signed up for it. The fact that it's a musical. Now that it costs $200+ million, I'm like, this is a very interesting movie. It's like Madam Web, but the opposite direction because I think it's gonna be good. Like, I'm very interested in this movie in general, and as depressing as Joker is,
Yeah.
you know, I've probably watched it myself. You can count it on one hand
Yeah.
because it's just it's just Joker.
Yeah. I love the end scene though, like when he's on the talk show, that part when it gets real tense,
Mhm.
because then you're like, oh shoot, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah, as a fanboy for me, that's as Joker as it gets. Like I could see the Joker just not intending being like a booked guest, but literally like walking into like I don't know Gotham Tonight and forcing himself onto Gotham O'Brien show and then shooting him in the head and then causing a bunch of rocket like that's an extremely Joker thing, right? Like let's be honest,
Mhm.
like you could
Wait,
totally see any Joker doing that ever. So like that's one of my favorite parts of the movie because I can kind of get lost in my fandom there.
well,
you know
it looks like that's like Dark Knight Returns. That whole scene it feels like, where he's all
Yeah,
wooden and
definitely.
stuff.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely inspired by clearly,
Yeah.
as this movie is like this movie, like not to break down Joker, but it's like at times like Joker just feels like Todd Phillips like love letter to like movies he like really like things he loved,
Oh
which is
yeah.
just like Taxi Driver and The Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah, and that was
which
the
is great.
criticism. That was the criticism. It was like, oh, this is just the king of comedy and everything like
There's
that.
that too.
So
Yeah, King
yeah.
Kami that was mentioned. Yeah, I don't know. But that this is cool because I kind of I prefer that stuff. I prefer that when a director comes in with like a take and pitches it,
Yeah.
and they go on and they move it. Like the Todd Phillips DC stuff, while it's really out there, and I know it's not everyone's take, like, but I wish Warner Brothers DC Studios was doing more of that type of business with
Mhm.
directors, not that type of style. Like I don't need like just like I remember I mentioned to Garrett, like, wouldn't you like to have like a Superman movie like Joker? And he's like, no, I never want that. I'm like, I'm not talking dark, depressing, and miserable, but I'm like just focused. Like, this is what it's on. Like I just feel like that's what it is. And because this it falls into this category, which is animation, but um we did hear that the Spider-Verse producer pitched concept art to James Gunn for an animated Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah.
And similar to and this is what I was talking about. Like Phillips was able to pitch his Joker, get it made and get it done. But these guys, they pitched this, which kind of looks like Batman Beyond versus Inc. for the most part, based on the art. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
Yeah. That's what I thought. That whole little piece of news kind of came and went with me this week. I was like, oh, someone else is talking about Batman Beyond. And then I kind of read into it, and I mean, it looks cool. I think you're going to be the victim of copycat, and it's not going to stand on what you want it to be. It's not going to be like, oh, I have a cool idea. It's just going to be like, oh,
what do you mean?
like
Wait,
Spider-Verse?
you're comparing this, but
Yeah.
but this seems to be a singular Batman doing one thing as opposed to a out there multi Spider-Man. Like, I don't know, like the whole thing about Spider-Verse is it's millions of Spider-Man. This is one Batman.
No, I know, but it like the style and everything. I think that's what I'm talking about. Is like when that Ninja Turtle animated thing came out, there was a lot of like, oh man, it's got a different animation style, but similar to Spider-Verse. Not that there was major comparisons, but I think
Batman Beyond has its own style, though. Like, I mean, if
no,
you
it
try to
does.
mimic
I think,
and it
if
came
you
out
go,
decades before. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too fanning here. To me, they're different.
yeah, I think I would just wait on it. Unless I mean, the style looked cool. I just don't know, man. I don't know. Is there a major need to do a Batman Beyond?
I mean, I
guess
could
so.
say the same thing
I would
about
like
Creature
it.
Commandos.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know.
I
if they
can
made it,
these things
here's the
tie
thing.
into each other. I could say the same thing about Jeff Snyder teased on Twitter. Jurassic League is being produced by Gunn, and I bring this up because again, like they all these three stories kind of like tie in together. Because I'm wondering, like, is Gunn saying no because this Batman Beyond project just doesn't line up with his DCU? Like, is that it? Like, but it's because it takes place in the future. Like, I feel like it gives you leeway, but then we're getting Dinosaur Justice League. Like, he's going to produce that, and because Gunn's producing it, and it's going to be written by Brian Lynch, who wrote Minions. Like, is this? Am I going to see dinosaurs interact with Superman Legacy characters too? Like, I'm curious about.
Well,
Like, you don't think it'll happen sometime down the road?
Going back to Batman Beyond.
What's
Cool
all
if they do
exciting?
it and it's like this really cool cyberpunk Akira type of style. I think that would be rad. I would watch it. I'm not saying don't make it. I'm saying I'm kind of indifferent on it until they give it a green light. If they would have said yes, we're going to do this. This is awesome. Cool. Let's watch that. I'm down. I just feel like okay, Batman Beyond. Let's is there a demand for Batman Beyond? I don't know. Is it the move to make right now? I don't know. But if they
I don't
said
know
yes,
either.
I would watch it. So yeah, okay. Jurassic Park, Justice League.
But see, to me, that's just like if I hear the Batman Beyond news and I get disappointed now because I personally don't want to see this. It'll come out and I'll probably watch it, but it's just like I'm like, this thing is just I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, it's definitely it's again, it's like oh, this is what you want to do. Okay, I don't. What my confusion is, I thought all the animated video game and everything was supposed to be in the same sandbox.
That's what I thought. That's why
But he also said there's also going to be some one-off things, and so this might be a one-off thing. Like he did say, there's going to be other things that are not connected, and we have to remember he said that. And so, maybe this is obviously this is
so
part of it.
you're telling me the Elseworlds thing is real? Because for the most part,
I mean,
I've
it
been
sounds like it. Joker too
I think
is
it's been BS.
the Batman is like those are real things, and so
those things were always in motion before, though.
yeah. But I'm saying like
this is the first thing that's been
his hand.
new.
Yeah, I mean, but he also said a month ago that Black Superman's still like a potential thing. So like, I mean, until it starts filming, but where does that fit in? He said it's not part of what they're doing in the DCU, so it's like separate little one-off entity or whatever. And so maybe there is going to be like some unconnected things. Like he even said Teen Titans Go. It's its own thing. It's not going to tie in, obviously.
Is that still going on? I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Is it? I agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's as good as it ever was.
It's hilarious, dude.
Uh-huh.
it makes fun of all the DC stuff. And anyways, it's a good show. But yeah, I think it's fine, dude. When I think of these animated things, I think DC should try to do animation.
I agree.
But
they've excelled at it for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but like even when they do something a little different, like that crypto animated thing was really good. I wish more people saw it. I don't know why people didn't watch it. I thought it was a good
Crypto, which one?
the the Crypto, the animated Super Pets, League of Super
Okay,
Pets.
okay. I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
we're talking about something. I want to make sure you're talking about something I didn't miss out on.
It was produced. It was
Super
produced
Pets.
by
It was
Dwayne.
just called Super Pets,
Yes,
wasn't
yes. It
it? Okay.
was like Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, and all that stuff.
Keanu Reeves is Batman. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen that myself, but okay.
It's a really fun thing to watch with your kids, or if you're just hanging out. I don't know. I thought it was good. But yeah, no, didn't have a lot of eyes on it, and I don't know why. It may have been still COVID time. I don't know. Or no one
Yeah,
cared.
I'm looking. I just, like I said, between the two projects, I lean way more towards Batman Beyond. Not to make it like a huge like argument, but it's
Yeah,
way
no,
more towards Batman Beyond than Jurassic. Like I read the Jurassic League book. It lost me after 3 issues. There's only,
yeah,
I could only get through so much, to be
yeah.
honest. Like, like it's like when Snyder was doing what was one of his metal books. And what was it? Bat Rex, T Bats. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah.
that thing was. I was like, dude, I mean, I checked out a while ago, but I was like, God, it's at some point, it's just like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I really don't. And maybe I took Gunn's words to heart because I don't know. Or at the same time, like, well, if the plans changed, how come there's no uproar? Like, this is just announced and everyone, like, where's the slate? Like, it's everyone's reactions are so inconsistent anymore. I find it funny. Like if this happened like 4 months ago, people would have flipped out. But like now, it's just like it's like whatever. Gun will tell.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I don't know.
is Gun earned that much trust already, or are we just blindly just like without seeing anything yet, just kind of like because I feel like as fans sometimes we just fall in love really quickly.
I don't
Like
know. I
this is
think I
coming, we
think
have to
both.
like love it.
I think both are right. I think I haven't been looking at the internet since last night. Like the little blurb came out, and I tried to read it, but it was a paywall, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll hear more about it later.
Oh, I was just looking at his tweet because I know he does the
Yeah.
paywall.
So yeah, I went to click on it, and it was like, oh, join my Substack or whatever. I'm like, nah, it'll roll out eventually. So the the whole animated Justice League Dinosaurs. Okay, it could be fun, dude. That's all. I didn't read the story at all. I was aware
I
of
mean,
it.
it
I
could
like
totally be
Daniel
fun, like Mary Little
Daniel
Batman.
Warren Johnson. I love him. Like everything he's done has been great. I just I've kind of ducked back from some of the books lately, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll read it as a trade now. I don't know. Maybe it's that good. I like dinosaurs. I like
Yeah,
Batman.
no, I mean
So
that's why I got into it in the beginning with. I know Lauer loved it. This is like Lauer's into this. This is like bowl of fruity pebbles, orange juice, and Saturday morning, and he's reading this afternoon.
that's the crossover we need. Justice League Flintstones. Like just go there. Warner
I'd
Brothers
rather-
owns both properties, right?
I
Let's do it.
oh man, Kowalski, you're
Come on,
out there,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do? What did Barney Rubble get kidnapped and Batman's got to solve
Hey,
it?
Fred. Hey, Fred. I have a time machine, and the Great Gazoo shows up.
Would you do well? The crossover you want to do is the Great Gazoo
APOC.
and Batmite. That's the
Yeah. Oh,
crossover.
and
That's more logical.
Well, that's how it happens. You get an imp. They both have everyone, dude. Imps are huge in the '60s, dude. Everyone had an imp, dude. Fred Flintstone had an imp.
I
Batman
love
has
it.
an
I
imp.
love imps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Superman
a big
has
fan.
an
You know
imp.
this.
Aquaman has that little imp guy. So
I was the
everyone's
one
got
who
imps.
pitched Superman versus Mixie for live action, but you told me I was crazy.
I said you were crazy. I said it wasn't the right movie, the first, but it shows up in Superman, the second Superman, for 10 minutes, and you go, oh, he put that guy away, and then at the end of the film, twist, it was all a dream.
Hey y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor.
It was all a dream.
Dream,
I used
hey.
to read Word Up magazine.
So that's
He's set me up for that one. I couldn't
Hey,
help it.
you took it.
But
So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think I'm like, oh, cool, make it. I'm not chomping on this one, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Like I'm more interested in like the live action stuff.
yeah. I mean, I'm backlogged already with my DC animation stuff. Like, I still haven't seen that Flash's World War II movie that I talk about, and I've been wanting as much
Man,
to sit down and watch it.
those haven't been great. I
No,
watched
but like,
Crisis, and it was not good.
to be honest, but it's crazy though. They've still been so much better than the animated Marvel movies. Animated
Yeah.
Marvel's animation department is just not good for some
Except
reason.
What If? I think those are different.
Well,
things,
that's
though.
different. That's because I think that's the MCU guys. I think that's Feige. That's
Yeah.
different.
The What If stuff's
That's
been great.
different money. I don't think the animation stuff is by the same people. If I had to guess,
I'm hopeful for the X-Men '97. That looks kind of cool. So we'll see.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I grew up on it, but like, I'm not dying to see it. I'm not a huge X-Men guy, so like, whatever.
Yeah. See, I
I'm
like
like,
X-Men more than the Spider-Man show. X-Men was my show.
if that you sure you could if that's how you feel.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. You know,
Better song.
the only thing about X-Men '97, like, I hope it does amazingly well because I would love some sort of revival of Spider-Man '96, whatever the hell you want to call
He's
it.
still wearing the goofy like yellow shirt.
Yeah, dude.
Parker.
Those pastel
Aqua
colors were
green.
popular in the '90s.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah,
Lizard
everyone
was
looked like
pastel
Easter.
green. Yeah, it was Easter.
Everyone looked like Easter. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
so
know. I'm
funny.
still. I'll tell you. I just after the Flash stuff and Keaton coming back and then getting that tease that Gunn. I was like, does Gunn just hate Batman Beyond? Like, honestly, if he doesn't like the character of Batman Beyond, because this is the second Batman Beyond project that he shot down, I'm very curious. Like that's fine and all. I would just.
What else did
I'm
he
just kinda
shot? He didn't. What other things did he?
There
shoot
was
down?
rumors that like it was always pending. There was always like that pending, like Flash may lead into a Keaton movie. Then
Oh, but I don't
like,
think he shot that down because it's Batman Beyond. I think he shot down because that's not his plan.
yeah, that's still valuable. But then again, like,
Yeah.
I want to know what the plan. I mean, we're all dying to know what the plan is, so I want to know what it is. It's
The plan.
changed.
We know
He
the
says
plan.
it's changed. The plan right now is Superman Legacy.
That's the plan.
That's to get through the plan. That's my
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, make Superman Legacy.
I don't I don't want Mance Fine to hate me because of my thoughts on Superman Legacy. That's my plan.
Does Mansfine hate you?
No. I know he's got a more positive outlook than I do. That's
Gotcha.
all.
Same.
He just
Me and Mance, we're on the same page.
You guys are on the same page. Me, I'm
Shout out to
more
Mance.
skeptical. Yeah.
Mance hooked it up for me a few times. So
He deserves some love. He's been active in the Facebook group lately. He needs to shout out.
So
So
yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of Superman Legacy, they're starting the film next week, right?
yeah. James Gunn released a photo of the cast, and they're going to start filming next week. And we're finally. I think this is when things are going to start really rolling. Like, this is when we could start actually having like logical takes. To be honest with you, like when we start to see things.
Yeah.
Whether
I mean,
you love set photos. I personally can't stand them. So like,
I
you'll
love
see,
me a set photo.
yeah, you'll see a lot of green screens and capeless heroes, and I'll wait for the trailer.
Oh, you don't know that. You don't know that, dude.
Well, regardless, whatever it is, you're not seeing. You're gonna see them dangling from wires. I don't want to see that.
Oh, I hope so. I want to see wires. I want to see.
Yeah,
someone
like
holding on.
yeah,
to-
somebody he totally should be. Like, Superman should be dangling from some wires. I don't want to see it. I want to see the finished product. Airbrush those wires out for me, Kowalski.
It was funny. As all this Madam Web nonsense was going on, they kept interviewing the girl who plays Hawk Girl.
Isabel
all
Merced.
Yeah, and she's talking about is Hawk Girl. She's not talking about Madam Web. And she's like, "Oh, I put on the Hawk Girl helmet, and James Gunn's awesome, and I got to wear the suit, and I did."
She learned from The Rock. Where as soon as Black Adam failed, he pivoted to his XFL real quick, sprinted. So hey, you got to turn the corner, especially in that business. It's what have you done lately? And if your last movie's Madam Web, it's not looking too good.
Nah, The Rock was trying to like make it sound profitable for like weeks. Remember, he had that whole video. He drives on to Warner Brothers in his Hummer, and he's just like, it actually made $100 million. Like,
yeah, as he was driving to his XFL business meetings, he basically did Black Adam. His Black Adam BS was a sideshow. It didn't matter anymore. That's why he was doing it on the road in the parking lot after he just signed, $700 billion deal to combine his football league with somebody else's. Hey, he's a businessman.
Hey,
what do I know? What did I do?
He's losing business. So, hey, but it was cool to see these characters together, dude. Like, the first thing I was like, oh shoot, Nicholas Hoult shaving his head. That's a shaved head.
No more redhead Luthor. We that's it. Get rid of
this
that.
This is the first time
Luthor.
we're gonna get a true like bald Luthor in the films.
Besides, well, I mean, how do you know that? You don't know anything.
Well,
this could be a totally different take on Luthor. You don't know that.
They said it is going to be a different take. Something probably more akin to what we want. Like, no more real estate Luthor. No crazy like.
Are you a Luthor Smallville guy?
Oh, I liked him on Smallville. Like that
No,
was
no, no,
more
not Smallville, the show, but Luther, like little redhead kid, grew up in Smallville, experiments, moved to the
I don't really
like.
care for that.
What is your take on Luthor? You're sitting here talking like we all have a
Oh,
uniform take.
sorry.
That's not true. We love to argue
I
with each other.
yeah. I like the Burn iteration.
Oh, you love Diner Luthor. That's my Luthor.
Oh yeah, I hope that
If you don't know
uh
about Diner Luthor, you need
I
to look
hope
up
that
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 short.
part's in the movie.
It is
That
probably amongst fans, I want to say Lex Luthor's most legendary moment.
yeah, I hold on. I'm sorry, I had to do something. Yeah, that diner scene, like can you imagine the movie opens up with that?
I mean, I it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you would put it as Luther's introduction, as Luther's open. I think it works. I don't know if it works as an open for a movie, but I'm not a filmmaker. I would love to see that. I'm more with you on that. I do prefer most of my sensibilities of Superman come from Byrne and from Superman the animated series, as well as '78. That's kind of where my Superman lies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I love businessman Luther, man. I don't know what it is. It's just but I don't prefer him to be super like sciencey and goofy. Like I like the power suit sometimes, but there's something about the guy who kind of from Superman the animated series, like the guy who loves
mhm,
Metropolis, runs Metropolis, controls Metropolis,
needs to be the star of
and then
Metropolis.
super like what the heck? Who's this Superman guy? You know,
Mhm.
I like that. So
The
even the
jealousy
also
aspect.
yeah,
There,
so
I
we're
do
probably on the
think
same
science
page
is
mostly.
important, though.
No, it
Luther's
is.
just a
He
man.
runs it. He runs like Luther Corp. I just feel like when he's the mad scientist part, like that part kind of like from the 50s and stuff,
You
that
want
part's
you
kind of
you
goofy.
not you don't want him to be too much of a Norman Osborn.
Yeah, but I mean, I
There's got to be a little of that. He's got to be somewhere in between Norman Osborn and Reed Richards. If we're talking billionaire, like
yeah, he's still like one of the smartest guys. I
smart
just don't
people.
want to see him like be in the I don't want that to be the focus. I love just Luther's ego has to be his strength, and all
All
the other
Star
stuff just
Superman Luthor.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that?
it's
I think that
mhm,
teeters the line very well. To be honest with you,
yeah,
between and I love the fact that he's a convict.
yeah.
Like I love
He
that aspect of that story.
he
That
finally gets
story's
caught. But
yeah.
I like him being president. Like all that stuff is those are fun little like wrinkles to his character, you
Yeah,
know.
no, he's very interesting. I'm very interested to see what they do with Luthor because I've the takes on Luthor have been very weak in my
I
opinion. I still
yeah,
think
that's what I'm
while
saying.
Hackman may be the best acted, like I still think, or you can. I mean, a lot of people love the smaller guy. What's his name? I don't like the
Michael
show,
Rosenbaum.
Rosenbaum. But I still think that as weird as this sounds, I still think that Eisenberg is the closest thing we ever got to like a comic book Luthor. Like I know it's gonna sound crazy.
No, I think like in his machinations of how what he was doing, I just
Yeah,
his acting was like
yeah,
that.
his
Luther
performance.
is not like this like hyper erratic like Jolly Rancher
Yeah, I
Peter, you
I
know.
still love that Jolly Rancher scene just because everybody hates it.
It's so goofy. It's so goofy.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
just we'll see what happens with Superman Legacy. I'm
yeah.
excited. This is going to be when we actually get all the information. This is
This is
we're
the
going to
fun
get.
part.
Yeah, and, they got the table read. People have seen a specific logo. It's been I
Hmm.
don't know. People are
That's a
arguing
take. What do
whether
you
it's
think about that? What do you think if it is the Kingdom Come logo? What do you think?
that's fine. I mean, they got to do something right a little different. It's a little unique because it's such a young Superman. That logo is associated with such an older Superman.
Well,
I don't
remember
I don't know
when
how many
this
people
stuff
actually know
started
that.
happening? Remember when James Gunn first got announced and he started throwing out photos and there
Yeah,
was a Kingdom Come photo that they put out?
yeah. But like I said, it's very interesting. Like, he's inspired by Kingdom Come, clearly. But he's not using like we're not. I don't think we're going to see Batman in a mech suit.
No.
I don't. We already saw that in BVS, and I don't think he's going to repeat stuff like that.
Yeah.
And not like, and I get like they're two different suits. Like, don't attack me on
Yeah.
Twitter. Like like I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm
I
talking
just
about.
think the idea, like, there was like a synopsis that came out, and I don't know what it was from, or it was like, oh, in a world, there's already been superheroes. It's a world where people are they don't embrace good, and so I'm like, oh, that's kind of like Kingdom Come a little bit, where things were a little
Mhm.
darker and edgier. You had Magog and and then so Superman has to emerge
There's Magog. There's no way we'll see Magog.
No,
I don't think it's
so,
going
but
to be a true.
I think the heart. I think Magog won't be there, but maybe it's the Authority, right? The Authority is kind of one of the things they are setting up. And if you know the Authority is kind of like a little more it's a rougher version of a Justice League, right? It's more like kind of like the boys, characters that are a little more.
Yeah, that's not
they're
my
not
thing.
good. Yeah, it's not. I'm just saying, but like it's a good juxtaposition of Superman's goodness. Like, oh, when you have it's like that one story where, like, what's so good about
Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Yeah, where he fights the Elite, like
Superman versus the Elite. They made an animated
yeah,
movie.
yeah, the Elite. I mean, I wish they would have done the Elite. If you're gonna ask, if you want my opinion, but
I mean, I don't know. James Gunn likes the Authority. I don't know. I don't like the Authority. I don't know much about them. It's Wildstorm
yeah,
stuff. That's
I
not
don't
my
like
jam.
I don't like the Authority either. But if you're trying to highlight who Superman is as a character against the exact opposite of what people think they want, that's what the Authority was anyways. It was like, hey, we're literally giving you what you say you want, and then you're like, oh, these characters suck, they're not nice. Or
I wonder if Lex assembles the Authority as a reaction to Superman.
maybe,
You know,
who
they're
knows.
like his little Lex squad.
Yeah,
We'll see.
so
Yeah,
hey,
but
all I care about is Guy Gardner, so there we go.
that's an interesting thing. Like I was thinking, like, there is the odd chance that Guy Gardner is, floating around the Earth part of Sector 2814 and just happen,
Yeah,
while this is going down. I always figured Guy Gardner was at Warriors, hitting on some alien broad.
maybe he is. Maybe that's where everybody hangs out. Maybe that's the club. Like, Superman shows up to Warriors. Hey, Bibbo's was closed. I decided to go to Warriors. No,
Warriors is too. I'm Bibbo's. I would be again, like, you're like half speaking my language here when it comes to stuff, Kowalski. Like, you
I want
mentioned
Bibbo.
Bibbo's, but
Hey,
then you got to pivot to Warriors. I'd rather have Bibbo.
yeah, I
Not that
love
many
Bibbo.
people know who Bibbo is, but
I do, and they gave us a terrible version of him in Superman Returns. Like, I want Bibbo. Freaking
I never
pop-eyed
thought
looking.
you thought the old man was Bibbo.
It was Bibbo. It was supposed to be Bibbo
I,
in the
I
bar.
don't think they named him, but okay, all
Oh,
right, that's fine.
well,
I mean, okay, so that's is that Bryan Singer's Jimmy Olsen? Zack
yes.
Snyder's Jimmy Olsen, his wasted
Yes,
character.
man. Is that, dude? I want Bibbo.
You've got to have one wasted character in every Superman movie. It's a rule, like a Batmobile scene. In every
Oh my
movie,
gosh.
there's always one Bat vehicle scene. In every Superman movie, there's one wasted character.
Oh man. We'll see what happens. Make Bibbo happen. Come on. I don't think James Gunn's announced everybody, so I'm waiting for Bibbo to happen.
I'm still waiting for Perry White. Everyone calls me crazy. I'm still waiting for Perry White and Ma Pa Kent.
You'll get him.
That's, I guess, it'll be interesting.
Henry
We'll see.
Cavill is Perry White. Can you imagine?
No, I don't even want to deal with the internet.
I saw some stuff yesterday. It was funny. Henry Cavill is potentially going to be Cyclops or Doctor Doom, and like, or all these other characters. I'm like, or Captain Britain. I mean, it's like, hopefully
Sure.
hopefully he can work. I hope he
What
does.
is Cavill like? Doesn't he just Argyle? Is he in that movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I have no interest in seeing it.
Yeah. I heard it wasn't very good, but I'll probably watch it when it streams.
But then again, no one else is going to the movies anyway, so don't feel bad. It's not like I'm the only one.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Comic book movies.
Uh,
I love them.
Like I was thinking the other day about comic book movies and just this whole approach Warner Brothers going and just like the landscape. And because I was thinking about business, because Madam Web has me thinking about the business of making superhero movies, because I don't understand it. And Garrett tried to explain it to me because he works in business and this is like kind of like his bread and butter. But like I don't understand how making like a movie like Madam Web, especially when you just had Morbius come out not too long ago,
Yeah.
in the Sony situation, like reset the clock. Like, why do you make failure movies? Like, there's no way you could tell me they looked at Madam Web at some point and was like, surefire hit. Like they dubbed over that guy's entire voice throughout the whole movie. Like, this movie was screwed from day one. So like I just don't understand how you can make something knowing it's gonna fail, just to have Spider-Man down the line. And like what I mean in terms of DC is like, if people aren't going to the movies, and they're clearly not, and the landscape has changed of how the audience views superhero movies, is it wise to release like a slate of movies for like I don't know, for like 7-8 years, when it honestly seems like these things go on a film by film basis. Like, I feel like you're setting things
Yeah.
out. Like, do you have to have so many characters out there? Like, people are showing up for what seems like Spider-Man movies and a good Batman movie, because I'm still not sold on Batman's Teflon anymore post Flash.
I don't think so.
Right? Like, you're with me on that, right?
Yeah, but I've said that for a while. I said we live
Yeah.
in a post Black Panther world, like where
I mean,
you know what I'm
just don't
saying.
say it like that. That sounds.
But that's what it was, dude. Like you
It's
know,
it
there
just
was
doesn't make sense to me. Like, I feel like it's too risky right now to
yeah.
set all this stuff up on something that seems
Well,
like
because
people aren't interested
Sony
in.
wants to make money, and I think I
Did they
think
with
they're
this?
no, but that's the thing. They made money with Venom, and Venom kind of opened
That's the
the.
only one though.
But you have to understand, like Venom made money where everyone was like, I don't know, and I don't know what the budget was, but it made $1 billion almost, right? Um,
It made like 700,
okay, whatever, but like it made a lot of money. And
probably
so
eight.
since they're like, well, we made this deal with Marvel, we can't do Spider-Man ourselves, but we can be Spider-Man adjacent. Let's see. And so once one made money, they already started working on Morbius, right? And then like I think they were just
These
kind of like
Craven's gonna be
down in it,
miserable.
and they're trying. I think they're like, we have this IP, and their budgets aren't super high. So they can
You could
kind of just
tell.
make yeah, but they can just make a movie. The problem with that is you go back to the whole thing with Joker had a small budget but it also had a good story, right? Whether you liked the story or not, it was well told, well crafted. The whole thing was executed really well. Like I haven't seen Madam Web, so I can't like review or critique it, but a lot of folks have said wasn't great, and so that matters.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, I'm just very curious.
you can't just regurgitate and make and just have a formula. And that's kind of what Gunn said too. You just a lot of these superhero movies, there's no point. Like, why did you make this movie?
Yeah, like I think there's too many. I think they're
Yeah,
over. I think things are way. I don't want to say overproduced. It's oversaturated. There's too much content out there.
there's
I
too much
just
content, but the thing is, with the content's not if it's not great, that's a problem too. Like,
I agree.
I would love if they just did like 2 movies a year. That's fine. I'm good.
I think yeah. Yeah, I
I think
can't. I don't know. I really dug the Hamada idea of like, right, like we have a movie, it has like a counterpart on HBO, and that's kind of it. But they were like focused on those things, like
yeah,
the Batman Peacemaker, like they had the Penguin, and to Batman and Peacemaker to Suicide Squad, like it just seemed a little bit more focused. Like
yeah,
it's like we know these two things work, we can spin off of them. Whereas like I feel like they're banking on like I don't know, we don't know if Superman like is he's gonna work. Like if it doesn't, like who cares about the Authority?
yeah. I
Like
mean,
I'm worried about
who
that
knows?
character, like one I read one article where they were like Madam Web's there, you won't see a Madam Web movie for a decade. And it's like that kind of goes in part
I
about
don't think you'll ever see Madam Web
no, I
again.
get that, but it's like look at Green Lantern. Green Lantern failed in 2011. We're not going to see Green Lantern again until 2025.
Yeah,
Like when these characters fail, they want you to forget. They're literally waiting over a decade for some
yeah,
of these things. But like you can see with Batman, it's always a rush to get him back
yeah,
because
yeah.
people won't give it a shot. I don't know.
But here's the thing. I feel like they really watered down Batman the last few years because even though he hasn't always been on things, he was on pretty terrible things like
Titans.
Titans. Oh man, Batman was awful on Titans, and then the Gotham show, like what? Batman just dies.
Yes.
He got yeah, like things like that. Don't
Oh, that's Gotham Knights, and then
yeah,
Gotham
but
in general too.
yeah,
The three of them.
Gotham in general, but and the other thing is not a lot of folks watch that, so it's not like it damaged the character, but like
Gotham did. Gotham is a stain.
yeah, it was really bad. So it does matter. It is kind of weird. So like I know we're in
Batman as a character is taking hits. Like that's what I'm saying. The
yeah
Teflon's got some. There are dents in that bulletproof vest.
yeah
Maybe it
well
hasn't pierced yet, but that thing is dented up.
yeah you have to wear the Keaton armor. You know what I'm saying? The Keaton
Check his
armor.
wallet. I know,
Check
but
his wallet.
but I'm very concerned with Batman.
Yeah
That's why I'm hugging tight to the Batman saga, honestly, because I know you got your qualms with it, man, but honestly,
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It feels like
my
it's going to be
aesthetics.
the last good thing for a while. Like honestly, like I kind of felt that way with like Rises. Like I was like, I don't know when we get this again, and we kind of have it in a way. Like the next era was very controversial,
Mhm.
like I'm really holding that Batman saga tight, man. I don't want to let
Yeah,
that thing go right now. I'm
yeah,
concerned because you said he's been watered down. He has. I
yeah,
can't deny that.
yeah.
I can't.
So that kind of leads into that last thing we were going to talk about was like Superman on TV and Superman in the films. Like
Yeah.
it's an interesting like counter to like the last time we chatted about, there being the Batman and Batman Brave and the Bold. And James Gunn's
Mhm.
like, Brave and the Bold's coming out when it comes out. Like, I don't care if Matt Reeves' Batman's done or not.
Right.
We're gonna Part of what we're doing is there's a Batman and it's not Robert Pattinson, right? And so you have that
Right.
idea on the left, right?
Mhm.
And then you have this other idea over here where like, well, Superman and Lois needs to wrap up because we don't want to have two competing
Mhm.
Supermans out in the public. It's on one hand they're like, hey, there can be two, and on the other hand they're like, one Superman, no TV Superman, only movie Superman. Go.
Yeah, and Justin's referring to the rap article with the CW boss.
Yeah.
His direct quote was, where is it? Sorry.
Okay.
Uh, Buy me some time here. Oh, here we go. Literally, they don't want a competing Superman product in the marketplace. That's it. Schwartz is referring to James Gunn's 2025 movie Superman Legacy. And it's look for me, it's a bit of a bummer because I think Superman and Lois has been the best Superman we've seen in a very long time.
Mhm.
And like overall, like Man of Steel just never really got there. Man of Steel was a good stepping stone, but like a couple seasons in Superman and Lois kind of feels really complete. Like they've really kind of taken a character there. Like I don't think Cavill got the opportunity, so that's my opinion. Like he just never got there where Hoagland has. Like between everything that's gone on with him and Lois and the boys, like I kind of feel like I've been with them for a while.
Yeah. And
And Cavill just by the time his second movie got around, he was already second fiddle.
yeah.
So I think it's the best Superman we've had, honestly, probably since Reeves, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to say Dean, if you want to give me some Dean Kane, I'll even take that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I think with this show, here's where I'm like, I agree. Um, you know, they want to there's a lot riding on this new movie, and so you want to make sure that people's eyes are moving forward, right? Not like, "Oh, I'll just stay home and watch a TV version of it that looks really
Mhm.
good. But I'm also like, you know what? This is a good life. Like those CW shows, a lot of them burned out after the fourth season. And so I'm like, yeah,
A lot
just
of them burned out after episode 15 of the current season.
maybe. So
They
like,
were long. They were like 20 episode seasons. They were long seasons.
yeah, they really were. That's why
They
I was
burned
like, you know
themselves
what?
out.
Make them give them a shorter season run. And I think the if the CW would have like cut the seasons in half, went from 24 to 8 episodes, and then you do like 4 to 5 seasons, that's perfect. And then you can bring another character in, like and they tried, and some with more success, some with not. I
Yeah,
think Black Lightning was probably one of the better shows, but you
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying, it had 2 seasons and they kind of cut it, but because they went too long.
They have
So I
three. I'm not
was
sure.
there 3? Yeah.
It might have been.
Yeah, there's
No,
just a
I agree
lot.
with you. Black Lightning was fantastic.
Yeah,
I
but
enjoyed
like,
that. Supergirl
yeah,
died after like season 5, season 4.
yeah, just
Flash. I
couldn't
thought
hold it.
Flash was a little inconsistent the last 3 seasons, but you know,
Yeah,
you know, I I really like Superman and Lois.
yeah, it's good. They have a
I'm bummed
good.
it's gonna get, but they are ending it. They gave them enough time to. It wasn't like they gave enough time to come up with a story and a way to end it. I don't think that
Yeah,
they. I don't think that they were rushed. Maybe they were. I don't know. They could have had a completely different idea going into this with before Gun. I'm not sure, but it does bring me back to the last episode we did when they were talking about multiple Batmen, blah blah blah, and what but this just affirms to me that Gun's in charge. Like everything runs
yeah,
through Gun. Batman be
yeah.
the Batman Beyond stuff. This, like I just, this is going to be the James Gunn universe, in my opinion. I'm just kind of
Hmm.
curious, like And going back to like, the previous stories where like I said, like directors pitching, like are directors going to pitch stuff to Gunn or does Gunn pitch stuff to directors? Like I'm a little curious of that
maybe
now.
both. Maybe both.
I'm very interested to see what happens. Like, does someone go into this knowing that they have to adapt to James Gunn, or like kind of like the MCU, like there's guys that go in there and they work under Feige and they do what Feige says, but then there's Ryan Coogler who has free reign, right?
Yeah,
He's gonna tell me what to do.
I think that it sounds like James Gunn knows the pros and cons of the shared stuff, right? He was part of it, and so he might know I didn't like this, and so, but I do have a story that I want to get through. Who wants to join my team? Oh, I love your take. Let's do this. Let's work together. I think that's how he'll approach it. But
To be honest, man,
right.
This sounds just like Feige rising up through the Fox Fantastic Four, Daredevil. Honestly, it really does. The X-Men, like he was all a part of that stuff. He if you look at his filmography, that's where he cut his teeth on those bad Marvel movies of the early 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar to me. It just does that. When you say it out loud like that, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. It's James Gunn's world, and and that's the thing. He has to figure out what makes sense moving forward. And there's things like the Batman that he has, he can't say no to it because it, had a successful first entry. Let it play its course, but he's going to do what he wants to do. But in the situation with Superman, it's like this thing, let's let it wrap up, and then we're going to move on to my thing. And so I think that's where.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be situational on everything that.
If Reeves' Batman movie stinks, his second one, like I could see them just scrapping and not even moving forward and just going forward brave and bold.
Oh, I agree.
It's a possibility. I'm not saying it'll happen. I think it'll be a great movie because I mean, again, like he's a director.
Chances are very slim that it's a bad film. Right?
Like by no means do I think this thing will turn out like Madam Web. Like seriously. Yeah. I'm not going to go into this, and Jeffrey Wright's voice isn't going to. It'll sync up with his lips. Like I'm very positive about that. But there is a possibility. Like if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I could not predict what people will enjoy anymore. I can't do it. I used to think you'll like this movie, you'll enjoy this. This one's like I used to, but now I can't tell. I honestly I can't tell.
Yeah.
So
never know.
You don't know what's going to hit. And I think it's another thing. Like, I do think we kind of overreact to the Brave and Bold a little bit because nothing's been announced.
Yeah,
nothing. Like okay, I still
Jack
think
Reacher.
Yeah, like I don't know. I love this stuff. I got to calm down. I'm tired of arguing about it at the same time, but I like talking about it. Like I like having the podcast, but sometimes I feel like when we're texting, it gets like, I'm like, God, I can't express everything I want to say in this stupid word bubble.
Pete's very, very, he's in love with all of his stuff. He's a very passionate man.
But yeah, well, that and it's like spring trainings because I'm like anxious, Like spring trainings around here. I'm like, did Cashman do his job? Like I'm questioning him. I'm questioning James Gunn. I'm questioning everyone.
Yeah.
I question Justin.
Go for it. I've got a bad reputation, so.
Dude, there's people in certain parts of California that hate you.
I know, dude. California. I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry. I know California's weird. I know there's problems. It's not everybody. It's not everybody. But it is, dude.
All complaints go to @J_Rocca.
Yeah, send him my way, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, dude. I don't know. So,
yeah, I don't know, man.
There you go.
All I know is I love the stuff.
No political statements.
We're not going there. I mean, if you want to endorse Luthor for president of the DCU, that's about as political as
Luthor would be a better option at this point. So,
okay. Kowalski. There we go.
There you go. Hit me up.
I think we've babbled about nothing for long enough today. I think it's time to close out here.
Let's do it.
So you do it. You plug away. Tell everyone where they can find the Rabbi of Riverside.
You can find me on Twitter at Justin M. Kowalski. There you go. Easy. Real easy.
I remember the J Rocket days.
I know. Rest in peace.
You can follow me personally at Pete Illustrated. You go follow my other news-based podcast I do with Eric Holtzman, Straight Gotham at @straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. If you like what goes on in the BOF Facebook group, consider joining ours. It's fun as well. I have a Spider-Man podcast on Twitter at Spidey Coalition, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition. So if you like Spider-Man, check that out. Every month I appear on Ryan Lauer's The Batman Book Club to talk about monthly Batman books, well ahead of Justin Kowalski in appearances.
That's right. You are.
BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film, YouTube, Batman on Film articles. I did a little vignette on Sega Game Gear and Batman Returns.
Yeah,
Check that out if you want nostalgia. I thought that was fun. That was a little fun to do. I enjoyed that. Thank God I got that power brick because those batteries don't last long, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you for listening to the original Batman on Film podcast, authoritative, definitive,
The original.
and original. Announcer Rachel will take us out.
You've been listening to the original and official podcast of the Batman on Film website. Follow BOF on Threads at the Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jet and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original. Batman on Film, founded in 1998.